Your safety is our #1 priority.
Hello.
It is my pleasure to make your stay as accommodating as possible. Surely I can do something for you? Huh. Well, this is unexpected. You really shouldn't have felt obligated to help. But the truth of the matter is, you've actually saved me a great deal of time and headaches, so I suppose I should give praise where praise is due? So, good. I should probably give you something for your trouble. Thank you, I guess.
Won't lie. My heart stopped for a beat when you passed out. I'm glad you're still with us. Well, mildly interesting at least. Here. You want me to carry something for you? Yep.
Captain Reed, greetings.
Bet Cora's already finished the pre-flight checklist. That's my girl. Let's get that artifact to the launch. Later.
Can I help? I thought you'd never ask. Here. Have something for me? Bye-bye.
What's the good word, Chief?
this bird into space.
How's it going?
Hell of a view from here. We're locked in.
Ready to take off, Captain.
How can I be of service, Captain?
Stay alert. Weapons at the ready.
You're human. Clearly you're not. You're obviously human, but how are you here? We didn't know any others left Earth.
I'm almost sad that didn't work.
Perhaps we should greet our guests.
Of course. Manners. I'm Captain Diana Brackenridge. This is Security Officer Bomani Reader. And this is Dr. Mabuti da Costa, one of our elders.
A pleasure to meet you.
You've come aboard the Earth colony ship, Constant. Generations ago, we set forth from the planet Earth with the mission of colonizing a new habitable world, in the spirit of our ancestors nearly a millennium ago. Oh. Hopefully it won't inconvenience you too much, but we're in a bind. See, you're the only one to approach us, and we really need your help. Our ship has finally completed its near 200-year journey from Earth, only to find our new home seemingly colonized by... well, we don't know. Communications haven't been successful, so your arrival is fortuitous. Perhaps you'd be willing to act as a middle person between ourselves and... the others.
We're not entirely sure. Our engineers believe it's possible that our technology just isn't compatible with theirs. All we hear when using them to communicate with anyone is a bunch of disturbing noise. It gave me the heebie-jeebies at first. Well, the short answer is, we didn't. It's a generation ship, which is to say that most of us live long, happy lives on board and passed our mission down to our children. It was never intended that the original crew would make it to our destination. The goal was always the preservation of the human race above all else. Though, it would seem that was perhaps a bit presumptuous.
Ah, your question confirms one of our recent theories. It would seem that some form of faster-than-light travel or space-bending technology was invented during our long journey. That would explain why we would find people this far out into space. I guess technology leapfrogged us at some point. Interesting. I can only imagine that our predecessors didn't believe the technology would ever work, and so they made the decision to leave when they did. We do. Well, sort of. We saw structures using our surveying equipment. We've also seen the various ships pass us by. Some even seemed to want to communicate, but couldn't. Of course, we had no idea that they were being piloted by other humans. Of course, we know that now. Human or not, we were still unable to communicate our intentions. As soon as we discovered them, we fully expected negotiations would be necessary. Now then, please follow me. There's much to discuss first. We'll speak more on the matter once we reach the bridge. Dr. DaCosta, you may return to your quarters if you wish.
Thank you, Captain.
I will follow you to the bridge, ma'am, for security purposes.
I do not believe we have need to fear our guest, but I'll allow it if you insist. Welcome to the Earth colony ship Constant. In the early 2100s, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, researched a number of scientific scenarios: climate change, asteroid impact, nuclear war, global pandemic, and more. Each scenario showed the likelihood of an extinction-level event to be within 50 years. He fully believed Earth was destined to be rendered uninhabitable. We've always assumed that's what happened. So, he gathered the best and brightest he could find, built the Constant, and set a course for this planet here. We were told that it was the largest, most advanced ship ever constructed on Earth at the time. If you can believe, entire generations have been born, lived, and died on this ship. It really goes to show that there are no limits to human ingenuity and perseverance.
We've got strict rules around here, but they're strict for a reason.
This whole place belongs in a museum. Heck, it is a museum.
Here we are. Let's talk. Now that you're here, I can finally give my crew a chance at a new life. I think I'm coming up on 6 years now. I was only a teenager when my father died, passing command of the ship to me, as is tradition. Because of that, I've had to sort of learn as I go along, instead of taking years of study and apprenticeship under the prior captain. I think some people on the ship resent me for not having the level of experience as my predecessors. But at the same time, without my command, we likely wouldn't have made it here so quickly. A bit frazzled, as you can imagine. People are anxious about discovering that we're not alone, and also worried about what will come to pass. While we hope we can work out a deal with the people on the surface, they seem reluctant to reach out, so there's no telling what will come of that. I do know that we can't afford to stay here in orbit forever. The ship was built to sustain us for many years with backup provisions just in case, but even that will come to an end eventually. Difficult is the wrong word. It can be both challenging at times and also exciting. Our mission was to rebuild humanity on a distant world, believing that we were Earth's last hope. To think that while there has always been a Brackenridge in the captain's chair, that I am the one to finally oversee our journey's end is truly exhilarating. But with this stumbling block in our path, at this final moment, I fear tough choices will need to be made. Well, as I mentioned, we've been unsuccessful in communications with anyone up until you arrived, though not for lack of trying. But since you're asking, maybe you'd be willing to be a sort of diplomat between us and them as we attempt to resolve our situation. Does that sound agreeable to you? We suspect that our equipment is woefully obsolete compared to whatever you all have now. In all honesty, we never expected to need to communicate with anyone, so our comms aren't particularly robust. That limits our options. We even attempted communicating with lights and sounds, something we saw in an old movie, but I don't believe they picked up on it. If anything, it may have inadvertently alarmed them. I wish I could say that the satisfaction of helping others in need is sufficient, but I'm not getting that impression from you. I'm sure we can pull together some resources equivalent to whatever currency you use these days. We'll do what we can to make it worthwhile. And until then, you're free to make use of whatever facilities you need on our ship. No, not at all. We simply have no other options. With no working communications and no way to head to the surface, we need outside help negotiating with the settlement we've spotted below. You see, we intended to settle here, but we assumed that they intend to defend their claim given their presence here. We'd like you to go speak to them on our behalf and help us negotiate a solution, preferably one that favors us. Based on the data our ancestors had when they launched this endeavor, it was determined that this was the perfect planet for us. Even if we had another viable candidate planet, we lack the resources to get there. And as you know, it took us 200 years to get here. Our people have no desire to go back to drifting the stars so their children's children can possibly settle on an inferior planet. When we left Earth, there were no claims to planets this far out into space. We had assumed that we were the only ones attempting a generational journey such as this, meaning that there would be no need for a formal claims process. Regardless, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, did manage to file a charter for this planet's first colony, to be named New Jamestown. According to his records, no one took it seriously when he filed it, so likely it was either ignored or the records were lost to the ages. Given humanity's lack of interest in colonizing the far reaches of space at the time, it shouldn't have been a problem, but again, here we are now. Excellent. Make no mistake, this is our planet, and we intend for them to see this our way. So, speak with their leadership and see if you can negotiate a solution on our behalf. Preferably, get them to see things our way. Report back to me and let me know what they say, and we'll go from there. We thought about it, but it simply won't do. I need to think about the distant future of our people. Sure, our first settlement may be small, but our predecessors dreamt of our new civilization spreading across the globe. That will be difficult if someone else plans to do the same. While we're not completely close to the idea of sharing, it's much easier if we have complete domain over this world. I'm serious. We have a rightful claim to this land, and I intend to fight for it. But as you're currently our only hope, perhaps you'll honor my request and give it your all, for the sake of some very weary travelers who have come a very long way to be here. Thank you. We didn't believe anyone would be out here. Until next time.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
Sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
I know Captain Brackenridge has essentially given you free rein to wander the ship, but security will still be watching you closely. I hope you understand, given we have so little experience with people from the outside. It pays to take security seriously. Something I understand much better now than in my youth. Our people never expected to meet with other colonies. It may surprise you to learn that I didn't. See, in my teenage years, I was quite rebellious. I stole a keycard and used it to get into the reactor. My shenanigans almost led to a total reactor meltdown. Normally, the punishment for such an act would be ejection from the ship. But my parents pleaded with Diana's father, the captain at the time, for leniency. He agreed. After I served time in the brig, he assigned me a job with the security team. I took the lesson to heart and have been taking my job seriously ever since. Sometimes I wonder the same. But it also served as a great reminder that it is important for there to be rules for everyone's safety. And also, sometimes a little leniency is an opportunity to learn and grow. They must have seen some potential in me at the time, and I am thankful they did. I don't have much basis for comparison. People tend to stay in line, but when they don't, I imagine it can be more challenging than out there. We only have a small brig. So in the few cases where there was widespread disorder, we needed to improvise. I'm told that has only happened once in our entire history. There was a brief revolt under Captain Brackenridge II when he amended the rationing laws. Prisoners were confined to their quarters. After the trial, the leader of the mutiny was exiled to space. We take security threats very seriously, for obvious reasons. We had time to prepare ourselves since we arrived in orbit around this planet. We knew there was life, and the predominant theory was that it was human life. When you approached, we needed to be careful. Both because you presented a potential threat, but also potential salvation. Plans were in place to deal with both scenarios, and luckily, cooler heads prevailed. Bye.
Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of alien or something.
Now that we know what's out there, things are gonna be more interesting from here on
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that.
out. Just stay out of trouble.
Imagine all those faces staring at you every day. No pressure, right?
Never seen a ship like yours before. Well, then again, I haven't seen any ships before you arrived.
Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting from here on
Just stay out of trouble.
Hey there!
I wonder what else is out there.
Hey.
Impressive. They kept everyone fed for all these years here. Food looks good too.
There's so much more to learn about now.
Wow, I've heard about you, but here you are.
Just because our equipment's old, doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
And to think, all this time, we thought we were alone.
These are exciting times, aren't they?
I've never treated anyone from outside our ship. But if you need help, I'm here for you. Wait, how is it I don't know you? I know everyone on this ship. Okay, now I know you're just messing with me. I have a list of everyone on this ship, and I know for a fact that name is not on it. Ah, now I remember. You must be the visitor everyone has been talking about. They sent my husband, Mabuti, to greet you. It's quite fortunate that you arrived when you did, for Mabuti's sake. Hopefully you can help resolve our current predicament. There isn't, at least not in the medical sense. Since he was one of the eldest on board, he was ready to volunteer for termination. Thankfully, since you've arrived, that no longer seems necessary.
Oh, I assume that means you're not just gonna fire him.
It means that he was going to volunteer his own life for the sake of the others on this ship, due to limited spaces and supplies. Like the others, his life would then be honored with special distinction and recorded for history. Rarely we had to make difficult choices when no one would volunteer. But Mabuti, he's too generous to let that happen. Indeed we do. I'm still hoping it doesn't come to this.
In trips like these, there are no good choices. Just survival. And, well, not. No, that's it then.
Indeed. There aren't many doctors on board. In addition to regular checkups, I perform surgeries, obstetrics, and other medical procedures. I also help train the next generation of doctors. After all, someone must. It's demanding work. We try our best to avoid that through careful family planning. Rarely we run into situations where things do not go according to plan. And then we must adjust and make difficult decisions concerning our community and resources. We never do anything without careful consideration. But at the end of the day, we need to do what is best for the ship, so as not to put everyone in jeopardy. Nothing, not in the medical sense. As one of the
Oh, I assume that means you're...
It means, like the other, rarely.
How much longer until you can get down to the surface? Well, it's tricky.
Indeed we do.
In trips like these, there are no good choices. Yeah, I was done too.
I don't have much to spare, but if you are ever injured, Sure, but I only have a few things. Goodbye.
I've lived my entire life in the Constant. I'm not sure how else to live.
I wonder what it's like out there beyond our little community.
Wow. Hi.
Hey.
Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of alien or something.
Never seen a ship like yours before.
Wow. Hi.
Then again, I haven't seen any ships before you arrived. We've got strict rules around here, but they're strict for a reason. The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that.
These are exciting times, aren't they?
Careful waving that fancy gun around. We don't need to see what it can do.
Someone finally made contact. I think we're getting out of here soon.
We live in exciting times.
Oh, shh. I think that's the visit.
I think you're right.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that.
Just because our equipment's old, doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
Hey! So it is true. An actual stranger aboard our ship? Wow. We don't get any. We never expected to meet anyone else traveling the stars. But if you're here, that must mean there are others. Kind of incredible that we never bumped into anyone. Either we took a strange route, or the vastness of space just makes chance encounters unlikely. Maybe some combination of the two. Either way, I'm so relieved to find out that we're not alone out here. Oh my gosh, yes, of course! It never occurred to me. I've always taken it for granted that everyone just knew each other. I'm Yue. Sorry, this is just incredible. Well, we're all kind of new to this as well, so you're in good company. Oh, I'm the navigation officer, though I switch between nav and piloting. I'll be honest, the ship pretty much flies itself. Its destination hasn't changed since it launched, and we're here now, so I'm not sure what's next. See, the nav system's not perfect. We encounter stuff that our forebears didn't originally count on. Astral bodies, space debris, stuff like that. So sometimes I need to take manual control and get out of tricky situations. Then there was the time I used those unaccounted for anomalies to our advantage. Slingshotted us around a few stars that weren't supposed to be there, saved some fuel and knocked a few decades off our journey. Pretty incredible stuff. Hey, it's cool, but I got some stuff to do, so... It's incredible. I'm pretty excited to meet new people and ask them all sorts of questions. I wonder about all we've missed this whole time while humanity has advanced around us. Get you around.
Our people's safety. Be safe.
Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting.
Careful waving that fancy gun around. We don't need to see what it can do.
I bet you've been on lots of cool space adventures.
Hello there. Given that I don't know you, you must be this visitor I've been hearing so much about. I'm Julia, the Constant's chief historian. It's nice to meet you on this momentous occasion. As chief historian, I can tell you a lot, probably. What do you want to know? ECS stands for Earth Colony Ship. We wanted a fairly inclusive name to represent the planet, and not a particular nation of origin. There was an old colony ship that sailed across the oceans of Earth from a country called England to settle on a new continent. It was called either the Susan or Sarah Constant. No one seems to know for sure, so ours was shortened to just Constant. Ironically enough, that ship also reached what they thought was new land, and found it populated when they arrived. As chief historian, I can tell you a lot, probably. What do you want to know? Well, we launched Tuesday, September 27th, 2140. So, about 190 years now. Would have been longer, but it turns out we have an ace navigator who saved us some time with some tricky maneuvers. We're the descendants of wealthy elites, intellectuals, artists, scientists, and others who left Earth in 2040 to spread humanity to the stars. The thinking was that Earth's days were numbered for a variety of reasons. Our finder, Rupert Brackenridge, had the foresight to plan for the worst. Thus, he constructed this colony ship to settle what seemed like the most habitable planet we could find, knowing full well it would take generations to reach. We suspected that we may have been the only ones to leave Earth, given that no one else seemed to have the same idea. I'm glad we appear to be wrong. You know where to find me if you ever want to know more. If you ask around, people will either tell you my job is absolutely critical to the mission, or I just hang out, read, and watch movies. There's more to it than that. Officially, I'm assigned to the role of Chief Historian. Generations ago, it used to be Lawkeeper of Humanity, but that seemed a bit too lofty. While I don't think my job is as important as Captain, Engineering Officer, or Cultivation Manager, it's still vital to our mission. I do. But sometimes it's frustrating to convince some people that my job is important, since it's not directly related to our continued survival. There was a time where I thought my sister was the lucky one, running the hydroponics farm and being responsible for feeding everyone on board. But I grew to like my work, and working with children is nice, especially since I'll never have any of my own. It's okay. I don't mind you asking. I'm actually proud of my choice. It's a great honor to give up one's ability to have a family so that others may. As you can imagine, a population limit is a necessity on board a colony ship. I made my choice long ago to give others the chance to have a larger family should they wish. Though, I suppose I don't need to worry about that now. Maybe it's time to consider it. Of course. Everyone was assigned their roles here. We don't choose our roles, since there are only so many of us, and every job is critical. Someone has to prove themselves either exceptionally bad at their job or exceptionally good at another in order to be moved. But that rarely happens. I run the educational programs aboard the ship for all the children and any adults who are looking to learn about Earth history. We try to have group sessions some evenings where we read old Earth literature, watch old films, listen to music, and the like. So yes, I hang out with children and watch movies, but it's more involved than that. We historians are charged with keeping Earth culture alive, so that we never forget where we came from. Goodbye.
Captain Brackenridge says the future is bright, but I think the Constant was pretty bright too, so I don't really know what she means. I'm glad you're not an alien, but that would have been so cool.
Julia, I have a question.
Sure. What is it?
If there were animals on Earth, why aren't there any animals here?
Oh. Well, there wasn't enough room on board when our ancestors left Earth. We only had room for people.
What about the new planet? Will there be animals there?
Maybe. We don't know yet for sure. But if there are, they probably look a lot different than the animals we studied.
Oh, cool. I can't wait to find out.
I'm happy for the children, that they will know we are not alone out here.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
And to think, all this time, we thought we were alone.
Sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
I wonder what it's like out there beyond our little community.
I've lived my entire life in the Constant.
Hi there. Oh,
Okay, so I'm not the only one then. That's a relief. I basically never met anyone new, so it caught me off guard. But I did hear we had a visitor. I'll bet you do. But that makes sense, right? Presumably you're out there traveling the universe in your little ship. But for us, everyone we knew and ever would know is on this ship. This is a new experience for us. I imagine that's hard for you to understand. Anyway, sorry for freezing up before. I just didn't expect our visitor from the outside to stop by and chat with me. I figured, if anything, you'd be with the captain. I'm Daisuke, the ship's provisions manager. I'm not sure what I can offer you, but if I can help, I will. And if not, I'm happy just to talk. We manage. I know back on Earth, there used to be stores all over the place. Some that even specialize in specific types of goods, if you can imagine. But here, this is it. We have very limited supplies. Most of our stuff is recycled. Even the food. In a roundabout way, if you know what I mean. It works out for the most part, because it has to. You'll sense a running theme with that around here. Not really. Things don't work that way here. It's not a shop like you hear about in the books and movies, or, where you're probably from. Almost everything is communal or shared in some way, but sometimes people want a little something extra or special for themselves. So when that happens, they come to me. Mostly, I just keep track of the ship's inventory and help ration the supplies so we don't run out. Take care.
There's so much more to learn about now. Hey there.
I wonder what else is out there.
Wow, I've heard about you, but here you are.
I was hoping to talk to our visitor from outer space, and here you are! Welcome, welcome. I have a million burning questions, but I won't overwhelm you. There will be plenty of time for that later. Please, indulge me just a couple. How did you do it? Did humanity finally discover faster than light travel and eclipse our poor old ship? I knew it. It's incredible. I read about this technology in our archives from Earth, but it was only theoretical back then. Amazing! I'll have to learn more. Oh, I've got so many questions, but I'm being rude. I haven't even given you my name. Chief Engineer Kazemi, but you can call me Amin. And I might add, I'm one of the reasons we're still floating out here today. Indeed. Thank you for being so kind and indulging me. You must understand how thrilling this news is for someone like me. Someone who suspected this encounter was, in fact, possible. Ah, great question. I do not know for sure, but I can venture a guess. All of the reading I've done on the matter suggests that at the time, there was uncertainty that the technology would ever work, or if it did, that it would work at the scale we needed. So, I trust they made the decision to strike out when they did, fully believing it was the only way. Some may say I'm a master of keeping things together with nothing but duct tape and bubblegum. Well, if we had any gum left. Pretty sure that ran out 100 years ago. When I'm not dealing with catastrophic engine failures, I manage the other engineers. We maintain all the machinery, computers, you name it. We keep the life support on, and the ship flying. Many years ago, when I was a junior engineer, the reactor's computer burned out. The computer that controls the reactor's various regulators. I'll spare you the details, but when that happens, the ship and everyone on it is in danger of turning into a mess of hot slag. I had to jury-rig parts from old media devices to prevent a meltdown. And that's how I became the boss around here. Yes, so many. Does everyone have their own spaceships like you? Do people only live on naturally habitable planets, or did they learn to terraform? Are we in contact with alien species? I have so many more, but I don't want to take up all your time. Disappointing, but not unexpected. When you showed up, I tried to tell the others about the Fermi paradox. I suggested that the most likely explanation for you was that humanity had developed faster, more advanced technology and had leapfrogged us. Seems I was right. I'm not surprised. The amount of energy it would take to terraform an entire planet seems improbable. I can assume these types of colonies are strictly for mining and gathering rare resources, since there are nearly limitless habitable planets to choose from out there. Haha! I knew it! Incredible! Amazing! Simply amazing! In our ancestors' time, only the very wealthy could afford to build ships. Even this ship was only possible by our families pulling together nearly all of their financial resources. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me. I can have a bit of a big personality, I'm told. So let me know if I ever get on your nerves. Good luck out there!
Never seen a ship like yours before. Then again, I haven't seen any ships before you arrived. Just stay out of trouble.
Imagine living your whole life here. I get claustrophobic just thinking about it.
If there is ever anything you need from me, I will do my best to help. As I always tell my patients, worry not, for tomorrow may bring happy surprises. Yes, our daughter is now pregnant with our second child, and the constant is at capacity. It is the duty of the old to make way for the young. It is how we have survived. There is a small chance that if we cannot resolve this issue with the settlement below in time, I may need to follow through and do what is right for all of us. I doubt it will come to that, because you have brought us hope. But nothing is guaranteed. I am at peace with that, as my parents were before me. Lorelei is, of course, not pleased. She can be a little stubborn. But, as she is also the one to carry out the procedure, it is understandable. That is most likely true, but were it to happen again, I would remain confident in my decision. Life on a colony ship has its ups and downs, as you can probably imagine. I tend to look on the bright side of things, however. To the best of our knowledge, we were on a critical mission, saving the human race from extinction. That notion was always with us, and it instilled a sense of pride and duty. Sure, the living quarters could be considered cramped, and we could go nowhere else. But we also had near endless time with friends and loved ones. I suppose as I get on in years, I have learned to appreciate that more than anything. I know it must seem strange to you. I am not a captain, nor am I a security guard. But I was brought along for a very specific reason. The captain trusts me to de-escalate situations. Pardon me saying, but we did not know who you were or what your intents were. So, Captain Breckenridge wanted me to come along as a friendly face and keep the conversation amicable. I am glad that you were peaceful, and my role was as limited as it was. Thank you. I'm a doctor and a counselor. I assist my wife Lorelei in performing minor medical duties, but I also practice psychology and help maintain our crew's mental health. It was good talking with you.
These are exciting times, aren't they?
Sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
Mabuti, I need to talk.
I am always willing to listen. You know that. What's the matter?
We had another fight. It was over something stupid. Same as last time.
Wow, I've heard about you, but here you are.
Hey there.
Huh. And to think, all this time we thought we were alone.
Can you imagine living your whole life here? I get claustrophobic just thinking about it.
It's hard work keeping everyone happy in my little community, but I try my best. Oh, hi! Hello! You're the alien, the person that came from out there, in space, that we weren't expecting at all. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. Can we start this over? I'm fine. I will be. It's just my nerves acting up. This has just gotten everyone so stressed, and since I'm here to help people deal with problems like that, it piles on me. Abe, I'm scared. Abe, what if we can't get down to the surface? Abe, what are we gonna do? And so on and so forth. I've never had to deal with so much anxiety before, and I'm a pretty anxious guy to begin with. Just ask my husband. I know! There's just a lot going on, and now I'm speaking with a visitor from the outside. I'm barely hanging on here. But if you need help with something, I'm here, and I'll do my best to see to it you're taken care of. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to talk your ear off. Feel free to come back anytime.
I wonder what it's like out there, beyond our little community.
Hey, you wanna play hide and seek later? mom. But you know we aren't allowed in there without a grown-up. And besides, you just told me where the hiding spot was. Ah, shoot.
We've got strict rules around here. They're strict for a reason. Oh well.
I wonder what else is out there.
Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of alien or something.
Just because our equipment's old doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
There's so much more to learn about now.
Wow. Hi.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
I've lived my entire life in the Constant. I'm not sure how else to live.
Hey!
I wonder what else is out there.
Miss Julia, I have a question.
Sure. What is it?
If there were animals on Earth, why aren't there any animals here?
We were on board when our ancestors left.
These are exciting times, aren't they?
Wow, I've heard about you, but here you are.
Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of alien or something.
Oh. Wow, you're new? Weird. Okay, wasn't expecting this. I guess I should introduce myself? I'm Janet. What's up? You? Cool. Definitely weird. Not really sure what to say to that. But, I guess I'm here to chat, if you want. Oh my god, it's terrible. I don't know how my parents did it, knowing they would never, ever get to leave until they died. Every day, you see exactly the same things. The same people do the same job. It's all the same. All the time. Seriously, the only thing that kept me going was knowing that we were the generation who knew we'd finally get the hell out of here. Although now that we're here, nothing seems to be happening. Sometimes I wonder if my sister was the lucky one. Well, one of them. I do have a sister on board, Julia, but I'm not talking about her. Julie and I were actually triplets with our sister Jen, but the ship ran out of one of her medications and she didn't make it. Sucks, but it is what it is. We only have so many supplies, we couldn't exactly get anything new along the way. Anyway, it happened a long time ago. I don't really feel that she's lucky. I'm just frustrated. Certainly not what I want to do. At least you tell it like it is. But then again, there aren't exactly any opportunities to change jobs. I'm the cultivation manager. Fancy words for farmer and fertilizer collector. I didn't have a choice. Most people don't. You get a job, and that's it. Like, I'm great at what I do, but I would enjoy doing literally anything else. Meanwhile, my sister Julia, she gets to hang out with kids all day and watch movies. The kids I couldn't care less about, but she doesn't even care about Earth culture. Ugh. Later.
Never seen a ship like yours before. But then again, I haven't seen any ships.
Captain Reed. Greetings, Captain. Conversational protocol. Travel safely.
I know it's home and everything, but I'm ready to put Aquila behind us for a bit. So long. Tell Cora we're back.
Docking seal released.
You don't need to wear your helmet on this planet. You know that, right?
Not sure if those Varun zealots little space.
Welcome to Paradiso Gift Shop and Convenience. No! Now. There you go. Need something? Okay. Thanks for shopping.
Okay. Hello.
Haiku, huh? Well, sounds exciting. Let's hear it.
Between you and me, I'm kind of glad most of the execs never show up to work. I see you've returned. I can let you in if you've done what you need to do. But if not, I can't have you disturbing the execs.
Not bad. Hey,
sure. Have fun in the Shark Tank. And don't worry, even they call it that.
Keep your nose clean. Last thing
I just feel that we should be focusing on the natural beauty of this planet, not our amenities.
There are millions of planets out there.
People can go to any one of them. The resort facilities are precisely what we bring to the table. Heck, it's the only thing we've really got to offer.
I don't want to risk us coming off as just another artificial, shady, trash-filled dump like Neon. That's not who we are. We've got something special here. We should embrace that.
Balom's right.
Thank you.
We don't want to compete with Neon. Bayou's ruthless. He'll do anything he can to eliminate the competition. We don't need that kind of trouble. That being said, I think there's a middle ground. Maybe build up the beachfront at a boardwalk amusement park. I've had this idea to build artificial hot springs, that sort of thing.
Sounds good. I'll look into what that will cost us and we can circle back around to this.
What's not to love about this planet?
We'll make some time. You're lucky I'm not like the other board members, lazing about the beaches without a care in the universe. Not quite. We just don't answer to the Freestar Collective or the United Colonies. Makes things easier. We don't pay any taxes, we don't need to follow their laws. All the benefits, none of the drawbacks. And no one minds, because half the politicians and other big shots love vacationing here. Works for everyone. We, the Paradiso Group, bought the rights to this planet years ago with the intent of turning it into the biggest and best resort in the universe. To that end, I'd say we've succeeded. As such, no other leisure enterprises may operate on the planet without renting land from us. But as you can see, none can afford such a deal. No, of course not. There's several more. We're just the ones who show up day to day. The others spend their time lazing on the beach or gallivanting off-world. Doesn't bother me, though. Less cooks in the kitchen means I get to make all the big decisions around here. Seems to be working out for us just fine. I am. And you must be the diplomat Jiro told me about. Welcome, welcome. Normally I'd offer you an all-inclusive stay at our resort before we spoke. But given the circumstances, I'm going to cut to the chase. We've got our friends, the aliens, up there, causing all sorts of problems for our resort. You like that? The marketing team came up with it. The thought is, if we can't get rid of them, it might actually attract more tourism. Come see the aliens! We run a premier resort getaway here. We can't have our guests concocting stories about some budgy old ship hanging around up there. As it is, we've had to reroute our luxury liners round the other side of the planet on entry so no one sees it. It's bad for business. We need to nip this in the bud and take care of it before the tourists catch on and cause a scene. Sarcasm isn't nearly as powerful a tool as some think it is. But you're right, no one's going to buy aliens. Remind me to fire the marketing team. So tell me, what's the actual deal with this massive eyesore of a ship, besides scaring people away? I'd say you're full of it and might have been watching too many movies. Now, instead of wasting my time, want to tell me what it really is? Bonza! That means we got 'em right where we want 'em. Now, tell me, what are we going to do about it? Give me some proposals, people. I need something to work with here.
We could offer to resettle them here. There's more than enough space.
They could stay here, temporarily, but it'll cost them. Quite a bit, too. They'd need to work off all their debts before being allowed to leave.
Maybe not. What if we help them get out of here? Outfit their ship with a grav drive so they can find a new home. We could even lend our engineers to help and give their captain an updated star map. What do you think?
Sounds costly. We can't absorb that cost, and it's unlikely they even have compatible currency, let alone enough for the transaction. Someone else would have to foot the bill.
Oh, I swear this would be a lot easier if they ceased to exist entirely. Anyway, Seema's got the right idea. Either works for me. Just tell me what you want to do. I'm not suggesting anything, other than it would make our lives so much easier if that ship ceased existing. Make of that what you will. We own this planet, they don't. Here at Paradiso, we don't like leaving things to chance. Who knows what these people will do with their land? Imagine the landscaping disasters they might come up with, and how that might mar the satellite imagery of the planet in our brochures. No, much better to assimilate them into our culture if they come here to live, rather than leave it to chance. Of course, because you're sensible, like me. I'll be honest, I was beginning to think you were one of those anti-business types. People are hardy, they'll survive. Businesses, on the other hand, might not. We operate outside of the Free Stars only, you see, partially because we don't want anyone else meddling in our affairs. And we'd rather not draw attention to it, as I've mentioned. It could be bad for business. We'd much rather settle this independently. It's not our responsibility to bear the brunt of that cost. We're being more than generous by offering the use of our engineering team to help install it. A custom grav drive can't come cheap, and I assume they have neither the monetary means nor the connections to get a hold of that kind of technology. That leaves the only other party in this negotiation. You. Oh, I didn't say that specifically. This would be a mutual contract for room and board in exchange for services rendered. Of course, there's no telling how long this arrangement will last, given the substantial costs we'd need to take on in order to accommodate them here, including their continued room and board. But this may save the resort on operating costs in the long term, as we'd be able to let go of some of our current paid staff. And which proposal will you be taking to the good captain? I assume there's a captain? I have no idea, because I'm not suggesting anything of the sort. But it's a wonder that old ship made it all the way here in such a relatively short time. Must have really been pushing themselves. An engineer friend of mine told me once that the reactors on those old ships have a tendency to self-destruct if they overload. Of course, their engineers must have taken great care not to push it too far. Someone would likely have to override the safety systems in the reactor computer. But who would do such a thing?
We better be talking super duper hypothetically here.
They'd be hard-pressed to defend their claim in any courts. Our charter goes back years. It was registered with both the UC and Free Star Collective, per the Centaurus Proclamation. We may be outside the settled systems, but that charter's official as can be. I'm sorry, but you're going to need to be the one to break the news to them that they need to make a compromise or leave. Right. Assuming they agree to the terms, I've got a list of resources you'll need to gather and bring back so we can support the new arrivals. We'll need to improve our lodging and infrastructure, plus account for future projects to support an increased population. Don't care how you procure them, just make sure to bring them here with you before we can consider this a done deal.
No good choices here. I mean, better a beggar in literal paradise than starving in the stars. At least that's what I'll tell myself.
Right. On behalf of the Paradiso Group, we appreciate your help.
Hope you're enjoying yourself.
I'm here to help if you need it.
It may be paradise. That doesn't mean we don't...
Doing all right, Gumdrop? We're home.
Time to leave this place behind. Retro's firing. Orbit stabilized. We have a clean dock, right on the money.
Yeah, boss?
Hello.
Now that we know what's out there, things are gonna be more interesting from here on out.
Keeping it? I can't tell you how many times I've... See you!
Reminds me of the time I was half out of my gourd in Hopetown.
There's so much more to learn about now.
Sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
Help! I'm being attacked!
Oh,
Gonna take more than that!
Everyone consider this victory comes for celebration. Will likely end in your death.
Shit, where are they?
I will assist you in combat. Warning. Motherboard shutdown. Imminent.
Thanks for playing. Bye. Oh, son of a... Me and my friend here can teach you manners. Better we get it than someone else. Come on. They're gone. We got company, I think. I thought I heard... I hate hide and seek.
Enemy activity detected at close range.
Someone.
You're all caveman. Didn't even break a sweat.
It is unwise to remain hostile toward
Tell us Sam says.
service-held column.
Good? I'm good. Hell, I'm great.
Watch out for crossfire! Officer, K up! Look out!
You take that!
Run back!
Looting the dead ain't glamorous, but it sure is profitable. Everything, going good?
I know I'm getting up there in years.
Exterior damaged.
This is hopeless. I'm out.
I can't.
This isn't worth it!
Well, they don't need it.
Enemy activity in the area has ceased.
Stay out of trouble. Careful waving that fancy gun around. You don't need to see what it can do.
Wow.
No matter the outcome, I won't let my crew down. What's the good word? Then I'd need to know what that catch is before I could form an opinion. That doesn't sound so bad. My crew will need to get used to working for a living anyway. This seems agreeable. Is that all? I'm not sure what we can spare. Not happening. That's probably true. Tell you what, talk to Daisuke, and he'll get you what we can spare. If you succeed, we'll see about finding some other ways to repay you as well. Thank you. Safe travels to you.
We've got strict rules around here, but they're strict for a reason.
careful waving that fancy gun around. We don't need to see what it can do.
Hey, keeping track of all our supplies is more difficult than... Oh yeah, she sent me a message. I have everything for you right here. It's all we can spare, so I sure hope you come through for us. Need anything else? See you around.
And to think, all this time, we thought we were alone.
Just stay out of trouble. I've spent my entire life in the constant. I'm not sure how else to live.
I wonder what it's like out there beyond our little community.
We've got strict rules around here, but they're strict.
Be back.
You need something?